What's going on, people? Welcome to the preview ahead of the Southampton game. Not Premier League tie. We're back in the FA Cup after we was in the semi-finals last season. As always, I'm joined by Patrick, T, and Stan to look ahead to this game. If you do enjoy the content, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Pirates content. And let us know your thoughts ahead of the game in the comment section down below. Gents, frustrating 24 hours. Of course, that defeat against Tottenham, but games are coming thick and fast, and it's time to look ahead to the next game. Not Premier League game, which is a positive, I guess. It's a cup game, which we'll be talking about. But let's start off with just Southampton in general. Look, I think it's an important game because of the run of games we've got coming up. We've got the likes of Chelsea and Newcastle and Man United. So it's another opportunity to get a win, even though it's not in the league. And they've been struggling. And, if we get a win, build a bit of momentum ahead of the Chelsea game, also going to the next round, I think overall, just a morale. It'll be a massive boost ahead of the Chelsea game, just a morale boost. But I'll start off with you, T. How important do you think this game is for Palace, considering the games that we've got coming up? Imagine a negative result against Southampton with the form they're in. It wouldn't be too good going into the Chelsea game and the games that we've got in the Premier League.
You said it. It's an important game for us to go in and get a win, not just for the FA Cup, which is important that we want to win it. We want to win in that, of course, but just for the setup to what's to come in these next 5-6 fixtures that we have after that game. We got some tough games coming up, and I think it would do a lot for our mentality and mindset to have that win against Southampton. But at the same time, it feels like a trap game because every time we talk about coming into a match against a team that has been playing well, they end up getting the performance against us and getting a decision. So hopefully we come in focused and pissed off from the last game and play well.
Well, look, we had a positive performance against less opposition in Bournemouth. I don't think this season we've struggled with teams in and around us. It's been teams basically above us. So that's been the main positive going into this game. We saw it. We beat Bournemouth comfortably, and then we saw what happened against Tottenham. We've been inconsistent all season long. But for you, Stan, are you hopeful of a positive result after what we saw in the second half, the 25 minutes against Tottenham?
I think that we need to get a positive result, and not just for the morale, but I think we always talk about ambitions, and the ambitions for this club should be comfortably mid-table, if not lower top half, and cup runs in both cups every season. So I want to see what's the ambition here? I want the club to show its fans that's what it wants to do, and that's why we need to go out and get a result. Yeah, we had some good patches of play first half, against Spurs, etc. Depends what team he puts out. He might want to try a few other players and players that don't normally play, etc. So let's see. But I'm expecting us to go out there and get a result. Yeah.
Patrick, for you, it's interesting because we've had this conversation before, and you're not really keen on a cup, are you? You're not really as fussed as you was in previous season because you don't think we've got the squad to go all the way. Is it a case of play the youngsters, play a strong team? Because there's negatives and positives to both. If you play a weaker side and maybe youngsters, and if you lose that game against Southampton, we know what the reaction is going to be like. Southampton are absolutely dreadful. We'll be talking about their form just in a bit. And if we lose against Southampton at home, it's going to be chaos. People are going to be like, look at this, it's absolute mess. But then, if we play a strong side going to the next round, have we got the squad depth to balance between both league and cup, do you think?
No, we don't. I understand that it's what I lose. I think it's important for the players that we win. But a cup run is a waste of time because we can't win because we don't have enough squad. So what's the point? As far as who he's he's done that in the past before. He did it against Newcastle. Because we can't rest everyone, which I did it with coming off such a bad loss. If you wanted to mix it up, we don't have enough players to mix it up entirely. So it'll be a mixed squad. But again, the reaction is what I'm worried about as far as the reaction of the players. Bounce back to make a run. What's the point? We don't have a close enough decent run. Last year was important. First year for Vieira, You want to set a tone. It was good for morale, for the club, for the players. But this season, to me, a cup run's a waste of time.
Look, you say it was a waste of time, but when you talk about last year, it was good because of the morale Vieira's first season. I don't know why this year it would be bad, considering where we are in the league. It would give us
Weaker
something
squad.
to look forward to.
We have a weaker squad.
We have a
it's
weaker
not going to
squad,
get any better.
But then
the
the
point?
FA Cup, how it's set up, is not like the League Cup. So you do have that break. It's not like we're going to play FA Cup game on a Tuesday. It's going to be on a weekend. So you can still put out a strong squad, the strongest squad that you have, and still get a result. I think against Southampton, we should be expecting a result. We should.
So,
because we've got a good enough squad to beat Southampton. Southampton are absolutely horrible. We'll be talking about them in just a second. But, you know, they've literally lost. I think the manager's been there for about 4 or 5 games. They want the manager out. They've been chanting, you don't know what you're doing to the manager already. They've gone absolutely worse. They're sitting 20th in the Premier League. I understand it's not a Premier League game, but they don't have an identity. And if we lose against a side like that is absolutely clueless and has been struggling with recent form, I think that causes big concerns even going into a league game. You want to go into the league game with as much positive as you can, just like the Bournemouth. What happened after the Bournemouth win? We're way more positive going into the Tottenham game. And we've seen Chelsea's weaknesses this season. They're not the greatest side. I think it gives us a natural boost. I want us to see it in a cup. I want to see us try in a cup. I feel like you never know. Of course, we haven't got the squad to compete with the elites, but it's the cup. You never know what's going to happen along the way. I'd rather have something about the season, and I think this is the last thing to have, like a good cup run.
This is what I was going to say. Like, Patrick, you're saying, like, this season, no cup run, pointless, etc., etc. So what do you want to see? Like, do you want to get to, like, Sunday and all we've got is X amount of games in the league? The fan base is going to be... I don't even want to think about how miserable the fan base is going to get if we don't have anything else to look forward to. I think, listen, I know we got a weaker squad. I agree with you on that point, but I think 10 years in the Premier League, we should be comfortably mid-table or lower-end top half, and favourable draw permitting, we should be comfortably, no excuses, quarter-final of the FA Cup. That's where we should be.
So, I mean, I think you know what I said. I didn't say I wanted to lose the game. So I didn't run. We could win on Saturday, great. But my competition makes no sense. Remember last season when we got to the semi-final? I rested players around and we lost the Leicester game and all that kind of stuff. We might get into a relegation battle. I'd rather focus on the consolidate the mid-season table performance than to make a cup run as they say quarterfinals, which doesn't morale maybe for a couple of weeks, but it doesn't do anything for me as a Palace fan of so long. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't really care. Just to solidify in the league. I don't really see the point. Last year again, it was a bigger deal. Someone first year manager. It was really good for everything, spirit of the team, for players. But this season, our squad is so. Honestly, a cup run could be very. That's what I believe. It really would. I'm not saying just not win on Saturday. I'm saying a run it like a quarterfinal. And Stan saying could be very.
Yeah, I think just focusing on Saturday alone. I think it's a game that. Listen, I'm confident. Despite what happened against Tottenham, I'm still confident. I think Southampton is a very bad side. Stan, you're not. What, you're shaking your head? You're not confident, or what?
No, I'm just saying that I'm. When it comes to the FA Cup, I'm a old football romantic. It's the only trophy I want to see Palace win. I don't really care about any other trophies, but I really want to see Palace win the FA Cup at some point in my life. So yeah, that's why I always.
Exactly. I think this is a favourable draw as well. We're at home and we're facing the side that's struggling. Of course, it's going to be better, but it could have been much worse than this as well. I think it's a decent draw for us. But look, T, talking about Southampton just a bit. In the last 5 games, only 1 win. Do you know who it was against? Probably don't. I'll be very surprised if you do.
It was a better squad.
City,
oh no, that was not. It was
Chelsea they've won, isn't it?
In the Carabao Cup. In the Premier League, they lost to Forest, lost to Fulham, lost to Brighton, lost to Liverpool. They're booing the manager already that has literally joined about 4 games ago.
Yeah, they haven't won a point under him
they're
yet.
They're saying that they've gone worse after Hasenhüttl was left, which they didn't think was possible. Surely we can't, surely considering how poor they are and how toxic that club is, and they're not scoring any goals, they're leaking goals. Surely we can't, even in Palace terms, surely we can't.
Mate, this is 1-0 Southampton written all over it.
I don't think so. I genuinely don't think so. I don't think we should be struggling.
I hate the narrative that comes with us and how we play. The idea that it's like this known ideal for us that teams are going to show up and get a performance against us for some reason. It's like, oh, this guy's been playing like shit. This guy's been playing horrible for 10 games. Oh, he's going to show up and play great against us. Oh, this team's on a 5-game losing streak. Oh, they're going to come up. They're going to turn up and get 3 points against us. Or
Nathan Jones' first win, 1-0 Southampton.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that mentality. I really do. Like, I would expect us to come out and handle business and play well and win the match. I just hate that mentality that comes with, oh, they've been playing like crap. Oh, they're gonna get a result against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that mentality comes from us, though. Really, it's like
no, it does. It definitely does. I'm just saying, like
that's the thing. I don't think that's gonna be the case. It shouldn't be the case, and I don't think that's gonna be the case. And if teams have done it in the past, all right, fair enough. But we have to move on from that, like we do if we want to grow as a football club. It just the only difficult thing is we're struggling with depth. But I think he will use the strongest 11. I think he will do that. Now, his strongest 11 might not be our strongest 11. So let's talk about quickly before we talk about the players that we actually want to play in this game. Recent results against Southampton, 1-0 win, 2-1 win away from home, draw 2-2. I get they've got a new manager, but in our last 5 games against Southampton, we've actually managed to pick up 3 wins in the last 5 and one draw. So we've only lost 1 game in the last 5. Mm-hmm. Overall, everything is in our favor. Now, we can say typical Palace, but everything is in our favor. I think we should be coming out this one if everything goes smoothly with a win. But let's talk about the team. Now, I mentioned it earlier on with Patrick, whether he wants the strongest side possible, a few changes. What are we expecting, though? What do you guys think Vieira is going to do? For me, I think he's going to use the strong side. The reason for that is we don't have any other Premier League games for another 8 days after this. It's a good opportunity to have a cup run going. And Vieira being Vieira, as a manager who wants to win every single game and wants to win trophies, this is a very good opportunity. So I think he goes with the strongest lineup. There might be a few changes here and there, but it's not going to be any games being played. It's not going to be youngsters having opportunities, etc., etc. Now, for you, Patrick, actually, I asked Patrick already. Maybe I'll Stan. For you, Stan, where do you think Vieira is going to go with this game in terms of squad selection?
I think he'll play a strong team. I don't think he's going to go unchanged, if that's what we're thinking.
No, I think he's going to change it. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of changes. There might be 2 or 3 changes, but I'm not really expecting 5 or 6 changes.
I think you might see Wilf rested because he was limping about, walking a bit gingerly second half yesterday. I think you might see a change in centre mid. So I think we might finally see Will Hughes start a game this season, or Gyro or Luca or one of those. And I think there'll be some youth on the bench, but there always is. I think, if it goes well, I think you might see some debuts later in the game. So you might see a couple of the young lads coming on. I think Sam Johnstone will start in goal. That's my gut feeling. I know Jack Butland's just gone to Man United today for the rest of the season. So I think Sam Johnstone will start in goal. Yeah.
Do you guys agree with some of the changes that Stan has said? I think Will Hughes should start in midfield and will start in midfield. And saying that, by the way, I'm not saying Will Hughes is going to be our saviour. He might have a shock against Southampton, but I feel like...
I think he'll get a run out.
Just let him have a run out. I don't think it can be any worse than that. Yeah. But yeah, based on what Stan said, I think he'll go with similar team to that. I think there might be maybe Edwardson up front, Will Hughes starting. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure about the fullbacks. I don't know how he can change it. You can put Gyro at left back potentially, but Sam Johnstone. So there's going to be about 4 changes or so. But this is a good opportunity, though, T. Don't you think? About just in general for some of these players to show their worth. Patrick mentioned it yesterday in the player ratings that some of these subs that did come on, I know that we was losing 4-0. They didn't make Vieira think, oh, why didn't I start him? It was like they didn't contribute as much. Do you think this is now the opportunity for some of those players who haven't been getting them opportunities to come out there, start the game, and actually show their worth?
I mean, I think so, and it's interesting because it's like is Vieira going to play with his strongest lineup, and Vieira's strongest lineup might not be our strongest lineup. But I think the funny thing about it is, being it as a cup match, it might set us up to see the lineup that we've been wanting, or more of the lineup that we've been wanting. We might see Will Hughes get a start. We're probably going to see Edouard get a start up top now that he's back. And this kind of he's kind of had his ramping up games, where he's coming off of the bench because he's been a little bit more hurt. So maybe this is the match where he gets his start through the center. You know what I mean? So we might actually see some of the guys that we've been wanting to see previously in Premier League matches. Now, you may see Wolf get rested, like Stan says, with that, it's like, who's the player that gets put out on the left? Is it Ayew on the left? I don't know. I'm not sure. Do we give Ebioe a chance? And
It seems like he's going out on loan, so I doubt.
But he was on the bench. He was on the bench. He was on the bench yesterday.
Potentially.
So I mean, I don't know. The one person I hope that is in the squad and eventually gets a chance to play is David Ozo. I hope we get to see that debut for him.
I wouldn't mind seeing JKG at some point as well, just to see what he's all about.
So, Patrick, you watch a lot of academy football as well. In terms of any youngsters, is there any youngsters that you think is realistically ready to play in this game?
The only one I honestly think can play is David Oza. He can't start, but I could definitely see him getting 15, 20 minutes at the end of the match. If he had injuries, Kofi Balmer could play. He looked really good in the when he went to Turkey in those two games. But there's really no one else. I like J.K. Gordon, but he's still a little raw. I think he should go out on loan. Tayo, but we've had that plenty of time about Tayo. Is Saturday time to give Tayo a chance?
We can't play him. We can't play him because that stops him going out on loan, because you can't play for more than 2 clubs in one season.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Wait. You mean he can't play in the Premier League either?
No.
That's not true.
No, you can't be registered with more than 2 clubs in one season.
But he hasn't been registered for more than 2 clubs.
Yeah, he was registered with Coventry, and he's registered, what's it called?
Palace, yeah, so he can play.
Yeah. So I don't think
he can play. But he can play, but what you're saying is he can't go out on loan if he does.
Yeah, he can play, but we won't be able to send him out on loan if we play him, is what we're saying.
I don't think he's going out on loan, but that's
has he not seen any action for us?
Nah, not at all.
He hasn't been on. I think he was on the bench maybe one of the games, but he hasn't played. Hasn't played this season.
Gotcha.
But as far as the Cami players, yeah, though, I mean, again, Ozo, Balmer, possibly JK, and again, if you wanted to try a real left back instead of putting Jara back there, you play him at left back. But honestly, I don't really see any of them getting a chance to play. He's just going to use the players that haven't played. Players like Jara will play, Luka will play, Hughes will play, Edouard will play. Eboe, I'd play Eboe. I don't care if he's going on loan or not. He's our player now. I wouldn't worry about him getting injured. I'd use him because they give you a chance to rest Olise. But again, I don't see him using a 100% strong squad. I think it'll be a mixture, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, look, for me, Southampton, I sound like I'm being so cocky that I'm being confident, but genuinely, the only player I'm worried about is James Ward-Prowse. Other than
he might get rested as well, because they're in a huge relegation battle.
Exactly, and they got a game coming up against Everton, so they might potentially rest him. But then on the flip side, the manager's under pressure as he got time to rest players. He's only joined there about 20 days ago, 30 days ago.
Yeah, he's only had 4 matches, I think.
Yeah, he's only had 4 matches.
But D, I want to add one more thing. Remember, they're in the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup. They play Man City on Wednesday. They're going to rest a lot of players. I guarantee.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
They're going to have to. So.
That's a conundrum.
Based on everything that we've said, we should be coming on here around 2 to 3 p.m. Match reaction.
1-0. 1-0 Southampton.
1-0 Southampton.
1-0 Southampton. Well, definitely. Wait with the score predictions.
1-0 Southampton. Joe Aribo, 9 minutes.
D is the cockiest. D's the cockiest. But if we end up losing this match, he's going to be the most irate by far. He's going to be the most irate by far if we lose that.
The most irate will be D.
As it is. Like, I'm just
by far.
And
Patrick, you're going to be so smug.
That's why I asked, who should we be worried about? I think James Ward-Prowse, he's been their decent player. But then you go ask Southampton fans this. Who ask them who
I watched their
they haven't been performing all season long. There's a reason why they're 20th in the league, 4 points from safety. Like,
Mate,
I
I watched their
What
matchday
are your
vlogs channel, and it is toxic down there.
Exactly, that's
Like,
what I'm
it is
saying.
But
properly
D,
toxic.
this is
Yeah.
the thing, though. We talk about other teams play us. How were Everton playing before they played us when they beat us? How are they?
They
How
were
are
probably
Forest
the
playing
worst
before they
team in
beat
the
us?
league.
How are Forest playing?
Worst team in the league.
How's Forest
Well,
still
You know,
playing?
it
I
doesn't
don't
mean
know. I can't remember Forest's recent games
doesn't.
before they played us, but I remember Patrick Forest beating Liverpool not too long ago before playing us. At
Leicester
their
Leicester
ground.
wasn't playing well before they played us.
So
I
Leicester,
got 0-0. I'll take the
yeah,
point
I
out of
can't
that.
remember. I can't remember. I'll be honest. I can't remember them the games before that. But Leicester was playing too greatly. I remember that.
They were
But
playing terrible.
I think before our game, they might have had a one positive result or something like that. I'm not too sure. But look, of course it can go against us. Of course it can. But it's on us to put things right. They are hurt. Like, they are hurt side. So we just have to make sure we put the nail in the coffin, go to the next round, get the win at home. But talking about win, score predictions. Let's talk about it. So what are we expecting? Are we genuinely thinking Southampton's going to beat us? Like, I've heard all score predictions already, like, spoiler alert, but are we, like, let's be serious here. Are we saying 1-0 Southampton for real? I'll start off with you, T.
I'm going 1-1 Palace on penalties.
They'll go replay.
Let me stop you there. We're not winning on penalties. So based on that, your prediction is already wrong. so that's on you. I'm just saying. That's on you. We're not winning on penalties. But Stan?
Listen, you know what? After the last 24 hours and what's happened at this club since the Forest game, I know the level of ambition. So I'm going to go 1-0 Southampton, Joe Aribo on 9 minutes, and this season is going to peter out and frustrate the hell out of us.
All right. Patrick, 90-minute Palace win. Could it come from you?
No. 1-0 Southampton.
You lot are unserious, I swear. All of you lot are unserious.
Can I do a redo? I'll do 2-1 Palace. I'll do 2-1 Palace.
All right.
Yeah,
Last score prediction, 2-0 Palace. I don't know why you guys are overcomplicating it. I think 2-0 Palace. I feel this is typical. If you're talking about typical Palace this season, this is the game where we win. Just like the Bournemouth game. We lost 3-0 to Fulham. And then we came back and bounced back and beat Bournemouth 2-0. That's why we're inconsistent. Because we have these type of games in us. So I'm going for 2-0 or you know what? Give me 1-0. I think 2 goals, you maybe asking a bit too much. I'll go 1-0 Palace. Just get a goal at home. But yeah, I feel like we'll get the job done. In 90 minutes, hopefully, as well. Can I
just say one thing though? From what I'm seeing, there's not many tickets have actually been sold. So I would say to fans, I know I've been cynical and times are tough and whatever, and you know we've had a bad couple of weeks. But if you can, I think it's a tenner for an adult ticket. If you can get down there, please do and go and support the team because we don't want a 10,000 attendance. And yeah, so
Absolutely.
If you're in the UK, please do go and buy a ticket.
Absolutely.
Exactly. T, stop being a fake fan. Buy a ticket to watch the Palace Southampton.
Yeah, T, book your flight.
Look, man, I do y'all one better. 4 people DM me. I will send you the money to buy 4 tickets, man. if it's £10, man, I'll buy 4 tickets for y'all, man. Go to the match.
It's like £5 for junior tickets as well. So you know, if you want to bring your son, but of course times are tough. People got other commitments, and right now Palace ain't playing that great. So I'm not really that surprised about that. But look, that's the end of the match preview. Big game against Southampton in the cup. Time for us to potentially progress to the next round, have something to talk about whilst our Premier League shenanigans are going on. It gives us the opportunity, something to look forward to. So hopefully we do get a win. Hopefully everyone else's score predictions are wrong, apart from mine. Not just because I want to get the score prediction right.
I said 2-1.
T said 2-1. Are you paying attention? T said 2-1 Palace.
I redid it. I said 2-1 Palace because you could remember when you said the whole thing about we can't win on penalties.
That's cheating. You
said we can't win on penalties.
Oh, yeah,
right, remember? Yeah.
2-1 Palace. All right. So apart from me and T, then our score predictions. Hopefully our score predictions right. Patrick and Stan have absolute howlers and will beat Southampton 4-0. But we'll see. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below. That's it from me, Patrick, T, and Stan. And until next time, up the Palace.